This is Execution Time, a game show broadcast by Profit Prison Limited, where real convicts are executed on live TV. Viewers can vote on how the next felon meets their end: decapitation, hanging, or electrocution, turning capital punishment into a bloody spectacle of crowd participation. And just a quick side note, as of this month in 2025, if you Google Cyberpunk 2077 Execution Time, nothing comes up. No wiki pages, no Reddit threads, which just shows how absolutely packed this game is with these little lore tidbits. They're everywhere. Execution Time is just one of the ways that citizens of Night City have fun. Other shows take a different approach. Safe and Sound is a children's cartoon produced by the NCPD, Night City's police department, starring Sergeant Dobbs, a no-nonsense Doberman, and his sidekick Mr. Puggins, a pug. Together they teach kids essential life lessons like how to survive a cyberpsycho attack and how to coexist with the police. And then there's the Bushido franchise, Night City's longest-running film series, with titles like Bushido 9, Dressed to Kill, and Bushido 10, Fade to Black. Trash cinema maybe, but beloved trash. And it's also available in braindance format, which we will get to in just a second. And those are just the highlights. Elsewhere on the airwaves, you'll find Guns and Horses, Watson Horror, and Your Business is My Business. If you're not in the mood for TV, you could also hit up the local arcade, with games like Trauma Drama, a violent medical sim, or Roach Race, a pixel runner starring The Witcher's most unreliable horse. But in Night City, television and arcade cabinets are small distractions compared to the city's true obsession: Braindance. Braindance, or BD for short, is the ultimate VR experience. A technology that records a person's experiences and lets others relive them with full sensory and emotional immersion. Initially invented for therapy, by the 2070s, braindances have become Night City's most popular entertainment medium. Braindances cater to every fantasy, ranging from wholesome sitcoms to intense action thrillers. Consumers can also buy slices of real lives, simple recordings of a day in the life of the world's biggest stars. Braindances offer escape on demand. You can step out of your own skin and into someone else's reality for a little while. Lizzie's Bar in Watson has specialized braindance booths and is often packed with patrons escaping into erotic or glamorous simulations. From sleaze like Three Mouths, One Desire and Wet Dream, with the tagline Be the Dream or the Dreamer, to horror, Foreign Body is a thriller braindance where a prosthetic limb develops a mind of its own and turns hostile towards its owner. It comes with the warning, install at your own risk. Other titles include the Sasquatch, Epicurean Sonata, and Count Destroyer. The corpse happily sell fantasies to the masses, profiting enormously, even as they study the psychological data or use braindances to keep citizens docile. For every wholesome braindance, there's an extreme braindance, or XBD for short. These are illegal recordings of the most depraved content imaginable. Torture, terror, even murder, captured firsthand for someone else's pleasure. Criminal outfits kidnap people to produce snuff braindances. Sometimes the recording is from the killer's perspective, other times from the victim's. In fact, some extreme braindances are ripped directly from the brain of a murder victim, their neural data stolen post-mortem. And there's a paying audience for both kinds. In Night City's seedy back alleys, you can find discreet dealers selling extreme braindance chips. Even pain and death are entertainment commodities to be bought and sold. Leisure itself is enclosed, monitored, and sold back to the public. On one level, it's just like our world's targeted ads, but on another, it's deeply invasive because these systems can monitor biometric feedback. If your pulse increases during a certain scene of a braindance, the system notes that and might later recommend content that elicited similar physiological excitement. Night City's corporations literally measure your heartbeat just to squeeze more money out of you. And while our world isn't quite that extreme, it can still feel like we're being bled dry by endless streaming platforms, apps, and recurring charges we barely even remember signing up for. And that's where today's sponsor, ROCKETMONEY, comes in. ROCKETMONEY is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. For me, one of my biggest money sinks has been streaming services. I'll sign up for a free trial just to watch one show that's come out, and then I completely forget about it. Weeks later, I realize I've been charged again, and when I do try to cancel, it's buried behind 7 menus and confirmation screens. Or I'll have to call the company and wait on hold for an hour because they couldn't possibly let me do it online. ROCKETMONEY is a game changer because once you connect your accounts, it pulls every subscription into one list, and with just a couple taps, you can cancel right there through the app. ROCKETMONEY can also help you negotiate your bills, set up budgets, and track savings goals all in one place. Over 5 million people use it, and it's saved customers hundreds of millions of dollars in unwanted subscriptions. I feel like the older I get, the more and more things I have to remember to do each day, and things fall by the wayside. Having one app that feels like my financial ride or die relieves a ton of stress for me. So take control of your finances today. Go to rocketmoney.com/bandercoot or click the link in the description to get started for free. That is rocketmoney.com/bandercoot. Thank you, ROCKETMONEY, for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back to it. When the workday ends in Night City, another economy comes alive. Night City's pleasure districts light up. From hedonistic dance clubs to neon-lit brothels, the city offers attractions to satisfy any desire for a price. Nowhere exemplifies this better than Japan Japantown's Jig Street. The narrow alleyways are crammed with sex shops, adult braindance theaters, pachinko gambling dens, and street dealers. Under the neon, JOYTOYS, the local slang for sex workers, ply their trade openly. In spite of its seedy reputation, Jig draws crowds every night. Even corporate executives sneak down from their ivory towers to indulge in a bit of illicit fun on the wild side. Sex is a commodity in this world. At the street level, a joy toy is a person offering their body. But for clients with more eddies to burn, there are high-end establishments employing dolls. A doll is a sex worker equipped with a special doll chip that can temporarily override their personality. When a doll goes on session, the chip loads an ideal persona tailored to the client's desires. The doll becomes whatever fantasy the customer is paying for, with mannerisms and dialogue all driven by the chip's programming. When the session ends, the chip wipes away the doll's memory, so they recall nothing of what transpired. This provides absolute discretion. The client gets their customized experience with no witnesses, and the doll doesn't have to live with any traumatic memories. It raises ethical questions. Are dolls truly consenting if they can't even remember what they consented to? In Night City, these moral concerns are swept aside by profit and demand. You also have ultra-exclusive venues like Dark Matter, an elite nightclub perched on the 42nd floor of a Japantown high-rise. Dark Matter is reserved for the wealthy elites of Night City, with a steep entry price and a strict guest list. The club's terrace overlooks the city lights below, a physical reminder that the rich literally live above the rest. Let's talk about some other fun. Night City also almost had a mall. The Grand Imperial Mall was originally designed as Pacifica's centerpiece of redevelopment, a 6-story mega complex with more than 70 shops, restaurants, a gym, cinema, amusement park, and the attached Hotel Tropic. Construction was nearly finished by 2069, but the Unification War drained its funding, leaving the mall and the amusement park abandoned. The same fate befell the EBM Petrochem Stadium, a massive arena originally built for the Night City Nighthawks, a short-lived pro football team. Backed by some wealthy sponsors, the Nighthawks were meant to usher in Pacifica's luxury makeover. Instead, the project collapsed and the stadium was left to rot. City officials later tried to salvage the dream by buying and rebranding the Sacramento Corsairs as Night City's team. But with the stadium consumed by Dogtown's black market, the franchise still plays out of Sacramento. For locals, that means no real hometown team, just a string of failed promises. Today, the stadium stands as a symbol of that collapse. Monuments to the Nighthawks still linger outside the mall, faint echoes of a sports culture the city never truly got to claim. Other fun includes blood sport and betting. In Night City, gambling isn't confined to cards or roulette tables. It spills directly into the culture of violence, where underground fight clubs and street brawling circuits thrive. Gangs like the Animals organize illegal bouts in gyms and warehouses, pitting cybernetically enhanced fighters and chemically boosted brawlers against one another while crowds pay to watch and gamble on the outcome. The city's most visible example is the Beat on the Brat tournament, a circuit of bare-knuckle fights staged across different districts. Each location offers its own improvised arena. It all culminates in the championship bout against Razor Hugh, a fight staged at midnight in the hollowed-out shell of the Grand Imperial Mall. Hugh himself embodies the contradictions of Night City. Born a street kid, he rose through the ranks of the Animals gang before rebranding as a professional boxer, flanked by elite corpo sponsors and cutting-edge cyberware. Officially, he is a 3-time heavyweight champion with nearly 50 victories and 20 knockouts. Unofficially, he is a corporate product, his body optimized in laboratories by bioengineers, yet he harbors one fatal flaw: recently implanted abdominal muscles that haven't fully settled. It is a metaphor for the city itself, seemingly invincible, yet riddled with weak points from the constant cycle of profit-driven augmentation. Another major outlet for adrenaline junkies in Night City is illegal street racing. The city's streets and the surrounding Badlands highways play host to unofficial races where custom cars duel at lethal speeds. In these street races, just about anything goes. Racers often carry weapons, and it's understood that you can shoot or ram your rivals to get ahead. This transforms each competition into a quasi-combat scenario on wheels. The races often involve a driver and a gunner working as a team, and spectators line the route at key points, or watch via drones and feeds, placing bets on who will triumph or crash and burn. Gangs are intimately involved. Each race can thus double as a turf contest or a matter of gang pride. For a few minutes during a race, every racer is the master of their fate. Skill, daring, and a bit of luck are all that matters, not their social class or background. This is deeply appealing in a society where most people's paths are constrained by poverty or corporate control. The need for speed is really a need for agency. Of course, it's an illusion of freedom that comes with immense risk. But as with other Night City fun, the risk is part of the appeal. In a city where death could come at any moment, from a stray bullet or a cyber psycho attack, many prefer to pick their own poison, and street racing is exactly that. Death or victory on your own terms. Entertainment in Night City serves as a means of sharing culture, like music, art, and community festivals, but even these reflect the world's struggles. Music especially has a storied role in Night City's history. It can be both a voice of rebellion or another corporate product. Consider the legendary band Samurai, led by Johnny Silverhand. Samurai was a 2000s rock band with a radical anti-establishment message. They started by performing in dive bars of Night City, rallying the oppressed with songs that called out corporate tyranny and societal injustices. Tracks like Chippin' In and Never Fade Away became anthems of protest. Johnny Silverhand himself used his platform to inspire riots and acts of defiance. Famously, Samurai's final concert in 2023 was used as a diversion during Johnny's assault on Arasaka Tower, part of an operation to literally bomb the corporation's headquarters. For a generation of Night City citizens, going to a Samurai concert was a political statement, a moment of unity against the powers that be. Even by 2077, Johnny Silverhand is remembered as a folk hero of sorts, and Samurai's music still circulates as classic anthems of freedom. And on the flip side, there's the commodification of music by the corporate entertainment industry. For every genuine counterculture icon, there is a manufactured pop idol. A prime example of this is the bubblegum pop trio Us Cracks. The group was not the product of an artistic collaboration, but of a deliberate recruitment campaign by MSN Media Corp, which sought performers with the right blend of charisma, stage presence, and marketability. From the very beginning, the band functioned as a corporate product line. From their sound to their personas, were all crafted to maximize branding potential and commercial appeal. The group quickly became an advertising vehicle, as seen in these Karoshi optical ads that are peppered all over Night City. Us Cracks spread less like a cultural movement and more like a multinational brand expanding its reach. Even their appropriation of Kara Eurodyne's user-friendly underscores this corporate logic. What had once been an expression of rebellion was repackaged by the label as a consumable product, stripped of its original context and sold to a mass audience. And yet, not all fun in Night City is neon spectacle or corporate product. Sometimes it's quieter. At sunset, the city glows in a way that almost feels melancholic, the streets below humming with a strange, fragile beauty. In Pacifica, the half-broken roller coaster still juts against the skyline, a monument to promises never kept, but also a reminder that even ruins can be beautiful. Out in the Badlands, the flats stretch silent and endless, the horizon humming with turbines, the desert lit only by the slow bloom of fluorescence. It's in these spaces that entertainment is something discovered. Watching the night arrive, sharing food and laughter around a fire, or simply sitting in the presence of others. It's here that community reasserts itself, and with it a sense of identity that the city often strips away. These moments suggest a truth that Night City's corporations would rather keep hidden, that joy does not need to be engineered or monetized. Sometimes it arises precisely in what's broken. Fun in Night City is largely about escaping reality, however you can for as long as you can. It's also a means of social control. The powers that run the city, chiefly the megacorps, understands that a populace constantly chasing the next distraction is less likely to cause trouble. They monetize this principle spectacularly. Sex, violence, art, speed, even human connection. All of it sold back to the public in packaged form. Night City proves that the ultimate form of control is not fear or violence or even money. It's fun, because if they can own your joy, they own you.